morning, guys. This is Tracy Newman from the Navigators Tarot, where you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. You can also find me on YouTube as Sleepy Wisdom. And if you would like a personal reading from me, you can find me at my website, which is sleepywisdom.com. Okay, so here just to do a general energy report for the week. It's a stunning morning, but it's going to be a very, very hot day, apparently. Okay, so the main energy for this week. Wow. It's like we're starting to really step into new energies. I just see this card. This is the card of focus, but also too, what I can see is just starlight coming through. It's like a new energy that's like sparkly energy through the air. It's like it's charged with something from the stars. That's how it feels. There's just this sense of newness that's coming through. See what else we can find. And what I've been picking up too is that before the earth as it stands now came into being, there have been many civilizations here before now. And even before Lemuria and Atlantis, there have been so many ancient civilizations upon the earth plane. The earth has gone through so many shifts and changes. And at the moment, we're stepping into a completely different reality, a new dimensional reality, like stair-stepping into something greater and lighter than ever before. But a lot of those ancient civilizations, before the fall happened, before the darkness came onto the planet, those ancient civilizations held knowledge of the truth of who we really are and where we all came from. A lot of us have been hit with the amnesia button over the years. We were born into an amnesic sort of state. And so for a lot of us, we are coded to remember. And a lot of those ancient civilizations now, a lot of their teachings are now beginning to come to the fore. So a lot of us that are coded for that remembering of those teachings, that's now going to start to come into being for a lot of people on the planet. So a lot of the ancient civilizations, including Lemurian and Atlantean times, are now going to come through and come forth. There will be new forms of these different energies that come through from Atlantis and Lemuria, but we'll pinpoint different areas around the planet. So there will be areas that will come through in this new Earth structure that house a new energy based on old ancient teachings and remembrances and intuitions. Places like Queensland in particular, Queensland have always seen it as like the new Atlantis. And that's coming through very strongly here. In Atlantean times too, there were, and what I've seen in places like Queensland too, is that, and there may even be a centre there, I'm not really sure, but not that we really know much about it, where the communication with sea mammals is going to be significant. It's going to be quite significant and of paramount importance to the world. And so that is going to start to come through a lot of people that will be drawn to work with the sea mammals in places like Queensland. I don't know why I'm picking that up, but that's exactly what is here in the cards. It's interesting. Oh wow, I'm getting a lot of not a lot of sea energy, sort of like I've got here the King of Water. It's kind of like the King of Cups, of course, is represented by Neptune, who is also, I'm picking up, the god of the sea. And in other mythologies would be called something else. But there is the god of the sea. And it would appear that a lot of as we're moving into out of Aquarius into Pisces. Yeah, so it's interesting that those energies, that those watery, emotional energies of the sea are coming, of water and the sea are coming through. And I'm picking up all this stuff about the sea mammals. So I really feel for this week, if you can at all, if you can get down to down to the beach or down to the sea at all, if you can. If not, any sort of water source would help. I really feel like at the moment those energies of the sea are really starting to speak to us and speak to a lot of people. So if you can, if at all possible, if you can get down to the beach, down to the sea, and have some sort of communication with that, with the, you may sit down and meditate maybe, and just even see what you can pick up and ask to speak to the spirit of the water, of the sea and of the water. I know myself that I have at times gone down to Beauchamp Falls here and have on the odd occasion spoken to a sylph-like creature who is like the lady of the water. She would actually call herself the lady of the water, and she was a water spirit, very sylph-like, very beautiful. And what she told me was very interesting, because she actually said that the communication that they have with us as human beings is extremely important, and they need us as much as we need them. And for quite some time now, you know, we've lost that communication with those elemental forces, especially the water. But right now, what I'm picking up is that water, in some way, holds an energy, a communication frequency, that as these frequencies of the new into the new earth change and shift, that our senses will begin to hone into spirits of the elemental realm, especially at this point in time. Water is what I'm picking up. So if you can get down to any sort of water source at all, and maybe sit, meditate, and try to communicate with the spirit of the sea, of water, and especially if you're in power places like waterfalls, you'll begin to be able to see and hear if you sit and meditate. We're moving into a greater time of abundance as well. This abundance card has been coming up for some time. And even though at the moment the world looks as if, you know, we're moving into a darker, you know, version of the earth, it isn't true. That is the falling away and the dying of the old. We're going to be moving into some beautiful new earth energies that are already here, that you can feel. So yeah, if you can get down to the water, that's what I'm picking up at the moment. Those watery energies are really beginning to want to speak to us and to communicate. galactically, there's a lot going on. There's a clarity now coming through for a lot of people about the goings on in on the galactic level and what's actually been happening over there. There also seems to be like, it's like a space. It's like whatever insurgents have actually come up and have tried to sort of like put one last ditch effort into destroying the lighter side of things. It just hasn't worked and is no longer going to work. The light has won and love is winning the day. So the darkness has now been removed from the planet, galactically, and also on an esoteric level. Yeah, so, and all these, and as all that clears away, our remembering of who we really are is now going to start to come in a lot faster, a lot clearer. Yeah, because we're actually going to be stepping into something much grander and much newer on so many levels. It's going to be very, very, it's going to be very insular too, like to actually really, really hone into the truth of who we really are as we discover who we really are, requires us to go within and to remove any shadow that is remaining. However, at this point in time, there is not that much there remaining to be removed, because a lot of it has gone. So yeah, it's amazing times we're living in. The earth is going through a lot of changes at the moment. So there are a lot of earthquakes, a lot of flooding going on in some areas of the world, all necessary, all meant to be, all here to cleanse the rest of what needs to be cleansed. A lot of people talk about the floods, but as I've always said, and especially apparently in California, there have been earthquakes and floods. Part of it may be natural, but also too, there is a big fault line through there. But I also know that a lot of the flooding has to do with the flooding of the tunnels. It's not enough just to destroy the tunnels. They also must flood the tunnels so that none of what has been happening in those tunnels can ever happen again. They must be completely destroyed. And I know through my dealings with the Galactic Federation and the discussions that were going on at the time, early 2020 was when I remember those discussions happening and being involved in those discussions on a galactic level. I remember the discussion was then that all of the tunnels needed to be flooded, that, you know, destroying them with fire was not enough, and with explosives was not enough. So yeah, but also too, there is a cleansing that is happening as well on the earth plane, and it is very necessary right now as we're moving into these new earth energies, out of really dark, dense, nasty energies that have been around for a very, very long time. Okay, I hope this makes sense, and I'll see you again next week. Okay, bye for now.